Hello friends, good morning to all. Welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 1st of September 2021. So we are starting a new month with new hopes and new aspirations. So guys, you can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affairs. So watch this video till last. But I am requesting you all the students to download our application from the description box link, and name of this application is Careers Cloud. You can log in with your email ID, and after login you can click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 year. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. But the most important thing that we are covering 90 to 95% of those current affairs which can crack your exam. So this is genuinity, this is hard work of Affairs Cloud team. How we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily section, you will receive three things. One is the detailed current affair, second is the question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, we are providing three things. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format, and the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Next is the monthly section, and we are providing four type of PDFs. One is the detailed current affair, second is the question and answer format of current affair, third is the best 100 current affair that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and the pocket PDF. It means you can revise these current affairs in the 2-liner and the 3-liner format before your exam. So it is a quick revision. But to enhance your performance, we are also providing topic-wise current affair, and we are covering 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. It means if you want to cover one topic related news just from single PDF, then you can use this exam topic-wise PDF. And if you are a banking student, we are providing three things. One is the detail, second is the question and answer format of current affairs only related to banking and economy, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on an application on monthly basis. But this is also only related to banking and economy. And if you want to cover all the past current affair of 2021 just from single PDF, then you can use this exam PDF. We are also providing budget and economic survey and also expected question and answer which can come from budget and economic survey. If you are appearing for your state exam, we are covering state current affairs and we are covering every state and union territory. So all these things comes under different subscription. No, this is wrong. We are providing all these things under one subscription. So you have to remember, we are not charging different subscription, different prices system, but we are providing all these things under one subscription. You have to just download our application. You have to log in with the email ID. You can click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 year. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. But if you're a new student, if you're starting your preparation, then I am advising you to subscribe for 2 year. And if you are subscribing for 1 year as well as for 2 year, we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And if you have any query, you can reach us on this email ID or you can call us on this number. So let's start today's current affair, that is 1st of September 2021. But I am again requesting you all the students that you have to like this video. You have to share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question in the most important section. Who has been appointed as the Director General of Border Security Force, BSF? This is the most important question because we are talking about most important organization. Remember, BSF was established in 1995, and answer of this question is Pankaj Kumar Singh. C is the answer. So remember, you can also see here the picture of Pankaj Kumar Singh, who was appointed as the Director General of Border Security Force. So the appointment committee of the cabinet, or you can say ACC, appointed Pankaj Kumar Singh as the Director General of Border Security Force. He will take charge after the retirement of Indo-Tibetan Border Force Director General Surjit Singh. Earlier, Surjit Singh, who was the Director General of ITBF, or you can say Indo-Tibetan Border Force, and he has the additional charge of this border security force because the Rakesh Asthana was earlier the Director General of this border security force. Now he was recently appointed as the Commissioner of Delhi Police. So this position was vacant, and this person, Surjit Singh Deswal, was appointed as an additional charge of the border security force, but he was under the Director General of IDBF. Remember, Indo-Tibetan Border Force. So that's why answer of this question is Pankaj Kumar Singh. So he is an Indian police officer of 1988 batch from Rajasthan cadre, and the BSF is India's primary border guarding force. The paramilitary force is one of the fifth or the five central armed forces in India, and this was founded in 1995. So you have to remember, earlier this position was with Rakesh Asthana. After that, Surjit Deswal gets the additional charge of Border Security Force, but originally he was the Director General of IDBF, IT, Indo-Tibetan Border Force. But now a permanent Director General was appointed, Pankaj Kumar Singh. And you can also see here, he will take charge after the retirement of Indo-Tibetan Border Force Director General Surjit Singh Deswal. It means this position is also vacant, so new person was appointed. It is Sanjay Arora. Remember, Sanjay Arora from the Tamil Nadu cadre was appointed as the new chief of Indo-Tibetan Border Force, or ITBP. So you have to remember, this is again very important. Next is Balaji Srivastav, IPS officer, and he was also appointed as the Director General of the Bureau of Police Research and Development. So basically three appointments are there. One is the Sanjay Arora, second is Pankaj Kumar Singh, and third is Balaji Srivastav. But the most important is Sanjay Arora and the Pankaj Kumar Singh. But you can also remember the other appointments like Dr. Chintan Vaishnav. He was recently appointed as Director General of Atal Innovation Mission. Adil Zainulbhai, he was recently appointed as the chairman of Capacity Building Program of Mission Karamyogi. Next, Shabir Kandwala, remember this, and he was appointed as the BCCI Anti-Corruption Unit Chief. Chief. So you can remember these appointments. These are very, very important. Now we are moving to next question. Who won the 6th Noisiel International Chess Open 2021? So again, this is very important because Noisiel is a place in France. So this tournament was held in France, and this was held between 23rd to 28th of August 2021, and this tournament was won by Indian P. So answer of this question is D. So remember, Indian P won this Noisiel International Chess Open 2021, which was held in France. And he belongs to which state? He belongs to Tamil Nadu. And you can see here the picture of Indian Grandmaster Indian wins the Noisiel International Open Chess Tournament, and you can also remember that he belongs to Tamil Nadu, and Indian scored a double triumph at 6th Noisiel International Open as he won both classical as well as Blitz event, and the tournament was held in France. So you have to remember just these things. But these are again very, very important personalities related to chess, like Vantika Agarwal. She recently won National Women Online Chess Championship. She won recently. Vishwanathan Anand, very famous player and one and only, you can say, talented player under the chess, the first talented player of chess in India, and he recently won Sparkson Trophy. Remember Sparkson, Sparkassen, Sparkson Trophy. Next is Abhimanyu Mishra, very important question, Indo-American chess player, and he was the youngest chess grandmaster. So remember these three options because these are again very, very important. Moving to next question. So all the most important questions we covered. Now we are moving to very important question section. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. Which state announced the initiation of a drone-based afforestation project named Hara Bhara? So you have to remember this name, Hara Bhara. This is the keyword for you, and name of the state is Telangana. So answer is C. So it is India's first such project which was launched by the Telangana government for increase the area of the forest, or you can say afforestation project. So Telangana government has partnered with the Maruth Drones, who will provide the drone system, and they launched a drone-based afforestation project which is known as Hara Bhara campaign. And you can see here, Telangana Information Technology and the Communication and the Forest Department have partnered with the Maruth Drones, a Hyderabad-based startup. And under this project, 5 million or the 50 lakh trees will be planted in the 12,000 hectares across all 33 districts of the state with the help of this Maruth drones. So this is very important because you can say during the launch event, a seed copter drone which was provided by Maruth drone. Seed copter. So by the name you can guess. Seed copter. What is the function of this seed copter? Seed copter is an aerial seeding solution for rapid and scalable reforestation. So during this launch event, a seed copter drone by Maruth Drones was unveiled along with the poster launch of the Hara Bhara campaign. And how will drones help in this project? This is very keyword question. And drones will disperse seed balls over thin, barren, and the empty forest land to turn them into the cluster of trees like this. So this is drone basically, and this drone will send these seeds to the you can say the deforested area, and after that it can be afforested. So this campaign will accelerate the mission of a green Telangana also. So drone will disperse these seed balls over thin, barren, and the empty forest land to turn them into the cluster of trees. So remember about Telangana. Telangana is important. Telangana's chief minister is K. Chandrasekhar Rao. K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Governor is Tamlizai Saundarya Ranjan. Tamlizai Saundarya Ranjan. And she is also the governor of Puducherry, additional charge given of Puducherry. And Telangana is very famous, guys. You can say Mrugavni National Park is there. Mrugavni National Park is there. Naga Arjun Tiger Reserve is there. Naga Arjun Tiger Reserve. Kaval Tiger Reserve is there. And Amrabad Tiger Reserve is there. These are very, very important in Telangana. Moving to next question. Navies of India and Algeria conducts first ever maritime partnership exercise in which sea or the ocean. So this is again very important because the Indian Navy has conducted this exercise first ever with the Algerian Navy in the Mediterranean Sea. So answer of this question is D, Mediterranean Sea, on 29th of August 2021. And it included diverse activities such as coordinated maneuvering, communication procedures, steam passed between the two navies. So this is very important, and this is the first time that Indian Navy is conducting exercise with the Algerian Navy. So you can see here from Indian side it is INS Tabar who participated in the maritime exercise with the Algerian naval ship which is known as Ejadzar. So you can just remember or you can just read this word Ejadzar. It is not important, but from Indian side it is INS Tabar. So Indian naval ship INS Tabar representing India participated in the exercise with the front-line Algerian naval ship which is known as Ejadzar as a part of goodwill visit to Europe and the Africa. And it is the third warship of the Talwar class frigate INS Tabar built for the Indian Navy in Russia. This is important, and it is on a 4-month deployment. It was started in the June and it will end in the September 2021 across Europe and Africa. And this ship also attended the Russian Navy function in the Russia. And during this development, INS Tabar will make several port visits and do passage exercise and the bilateral exercises with so many countries like you can say Britain, France and Russia, like Indra exercise. So you can remember INS Tabar participated from Indian side and this exercise happened in the Mediterranean Sea, important. And Algeria, capital is Algiers, and currency is Algerian dinar or dinar. Moving to next question. Which country's central bank tie up with the Bit Inc. to launch its own cryptocurrency e-Naira? So Bit company is very much famous for launching the cryptocurrencies. So now this country's central bank want to launch own cryptocurrency and they tied up with the Bit, and the name of the cryptocurrency is e-Naira. This is the keyword for you, remember. And the name of the country is Nigeria. Answer of this question is C. So Nigeria's central bank announced the partnership with the Bit company, the global financial technological company, as a technical partner for the launch of its own cryptocurrency which is known as e-Naira at the end of 2021. So they will launch like in the December or you can say January 2022. And you can see here Nigeria to partner with the Bit inclusion or the Bit company. It is a global financial technology company to launch e-Naira as a digital currency. This is very important. And e-Naira will act as a wallet and enable the customers to save their existing fund in their bank account. It means they can use this e-Naira as a legal currency. Because in February 2021, Nigeria barred all the banks and the financial institutions from dealing in or facilitating transactions in any cryptocurrency. So Nigerian government or the Nigerian central bank barred all the banks. And after which the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced its plan of launching e-Naira. And the cryptocurrency will improve financial inclusion and enable cheaper and the faster remittance inflows. And in March 2021, you have to remember this question, this is very important. In March 2021, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank issued the D-Cash currency, D-Cash, which became the world's first retail central bank digital currency to be publicly issued within a formal currency union. So Dcash was the world's first retail central bank digital currency which was publicly issued within a formal currency union, and this was issued by Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. So you have to remember the name of this bank. And Dcash was designed and developed by same company BIT in partnership with the ECCB, or you can say Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. So the first bank is Eastern Central Caribbean Bank, and now so many banks issued this cryptocurrencies of their country. Now it is Nigeria, and the name of the currency is e-Naira. So these things are very, very important. Moving to next question. Who became the part-time chairman of IDFC First Bank? So you have to just remember this appointment, otherwise it is not so much important, but we are covering under the very important because he was appointed as the part-time chairman, not the permanent chairman. But we are talking about a bank, IDFC First Bank, and answer of this question is Sanjeev Chaudhary. So answer of this question is A. So the Reserve Bank of India gave the approval to the appointment of Sanjeev Chaudhary as the part-time chairman of IDFC, or Infrastructure Development Finance Company First Limited Bank. And RB approves the appointment of Sanjeev Chaudhary as the part-time IDFC First Bank, and you can see here the picture. But other 3 appointments are very, very important. Like you can see here, V. Vaidyanathan, he is currently the MD and CEO of this IDFC First Bank. You can remember. Subhash Kumar, he was recently appointed as chairman and managing director of ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Mukhmeet S. Bhatia, he was recently appointed as Director General of Employees State Insurance Corporation, ESIC or ESIC. Moving to next question. Which space organization launched a spacecraft carrying shipment of ants, avocados, and human-sized robotic arm towards the International Space Station? So this is again a new kind of thing, and this is done through SpaceX. SpaceX rocket or SpaceX spacecraft, which is known as Dragon spacecraft. And with this spacecraft, the shipment of ants, avocados, and human-sized robotic arm was sent towards the International Space Station. And you can also see here SpaceX launched this to the space station, and this space station which was used, it was belonged to NASA. And the Dragon carried more than 4,800 pounds of supplies and experiments and the fresh food. And even it is also including the avocados, lemons, even ice cream for the space station 7 astronauts, because there are 7 astronauts which are stated or which are placed in the International Space Station, and for them they are sending the avocados, lemons, and even very delicious ice creams for the space station 7 astronauts. And the Girl Scouts sent ants, shrimps, and the plants for the experiment. This is just for the experiment purposes. And they are also sending the samples of the concrete, solar cells, and other material again for the research. And there is also a robotic arm which is also sent to the International Space Station. But you have to remember what is International Space Station. It is a home to the astronauts in the form of large spacecraft which orbits around the Earth. And its objective is to do research which could not be done on the Earth. So that's why there is a permanent residence on, you can say, in the space. This is known as the International Space Station. And it has science labs from United States of America, NASA's agency, Russia's Roscosmos, and Japan's JAXA, and European Space Agency. So these are the 4 major space agencies all over world. So you have to remember these are very, very important. And ISRO, you know, it belongs to India, JAXA is Japan, European Space Agency belongs to Europe. Moving to next question. Nirmala Sitharaman launched MyPad, MyRight project in which state? Again, this is very important because Nirmala Sitharaman ji yesterday launched 12 projects in this state, because he was on the 2-day visit of this state, and the name of the state is Tripura. So answer of this question is D. So Nirmala Sitharaman, Union Minister of Finance, has launched MyPad, MyRight. You have to remember this keyword, MyPad, MyRight project at the Gomti district of Tripura on the concluding day of a 2-day visit to the Tripura. But you have to remember this is not only the Tripura project, this is for all India project, but it was launched in Tripura because he was on the visit of Tripura. So you can see here Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman inaugurates MyPad, MyRight project in the Tripura. And project is an initiative of the NABARD, or the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, and the NAB Foundation, which is also 100% subsidiary of the NABARD. So it is to install low-cost sanitary pad making machines in more than 700 districts all over India. And its main aim to bring livelihood and menstrual hygiene closer to the rural women by the way of grant, wage support, and the capital equipments. And under this program, like My Pad, My Right project, one sanitary pad making machine, remember, one machine, raw material for 2 months, wages for 50 days, packaging material with accessories, and 5-day training in 3 phases will be provided. So all these things will be provided by the government so that sanitary napkins can be made with this machine at very low cost, and it can go with a you can say can reach to the rural women by the way of grant, wage support, or the capital equipment. So you have to remember these things because all these things will be provided with the help of the NABARD and the NAB Foundation, which is also the 100% subsidiary of the NABARD. So remember these things. But Tripura is important, guys, here. Tripura Chief Minister is Biplab Kumar Dev and Governor is Satya Dev Narayan Arya. Satya Dev Narayan Arya, who was earlier the Governor of Haryana, but now Haryana's governor is Bandaru Dattatreya, who was earlier the governor of Himachal Pradesh. And 2 national parks you have to remember. One is Clouded Leopard National Park and the next is Rajbari National Park. So these are 2 important national parks. Moving to next question. Who will take charge as the temporary or the interim chief executive officer, CEO, and officer on special duty of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank? So again, this question is very important because we are talking about one small finance bank and name of this bank is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. So answer of this question is Carol Furtado. So you have to remember B is the answer. And firstly, she was appointed as the officer on the special duty. After that, he will take charge as a temporary or the interim chief executive officer of the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. And this decision has taken after the resignation of the bank's managing director and CEO, Nitin Chugh. We covered this question in the most important section. So Nitin Chugh resigned and Nitin Chugh time period will end on the 30th of September 2021. So till 30th of September, this Carol Furtado will act as the officer on special duty, and after 30th of September, it means from 1st of October, she will act as the chief executive officer of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. You can see here the picture of Carol Furtado, who will take charge as the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank officer on special duty till 30th of September 2021. After that, he will act as the interim CEO from the October, it means from the 1st of October. And Carol Furtado will be responsible for handling the day-to-day operations of the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. But you can also remember about this bank. This bank was established in 2017. Its tagline is Build a Better Life. Build a Better Life. So this is the tagline. And its headquarters is in Bengaluru, Karnataka. But another appointments are again very, very important, like R.K. Chibber, you can see here. He was recently appointed as chairman and basically his tenure was extended. Chairman and managing director of Jammu and Kashmir Bank. Urjit Patel, the former governor of RBI, he was recently appointed as additional director of Britannia Industries. This is important. Malika Srinivasan, again very important appointment. She was appointed as the chairperson of the Public Enterprise Selection Board. Now moving to next question. Which company launched the investment cum borrowing application named 12% Club? So you have to remember the keyword 12% Club, and this is launched by which company? This is launched by BharatPe. So answer of this question is A. So 12% Club, which will enable its customers to invest and borrow at a 12% interest rate. That's why it is known as 12% Club. Who want to borrow the money, then they have to pay 12% interest rate from this company, which is known as BharatPe. Through this application, the customers could obtain collateral-free loan of up to 10 lakh for a tenure of 3 months. So the time period is 3 months. They can take a loan maximum to maximum 10 lakh at a 12% interest rate. And under this 12% Club, the consumers could invest their savings through BharatPe partner, peer-to-peer, or you can say with the non-banking financial companies. So they can invest this money in the non-banking financial companies with the help of the BharatPe. So in very simple word, you have to remember this company is BharatPe who started this 12% Club. Moving to next question. Which ministry has launched a mobile application which is known as Vibrake? So again, this is very important, Vibrake, and it is a part of week-long activities and campaigns to commemorate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, or you can say the 75 year of independence, from 30th of August to 5th of September. This is a week-long activities and the campaigns. And this is launched by Ministry of Ayush. It means I am talking about Ayurveda, Yoga and Neuropathy, Unani, Siddha and homeopathy. So, and who is the new Union Minister? It is Sarabnanda Sonowal. Sarabnanda Sonowal, who was earlier the Chief Minister of Assam. So, remember, this is launched by Ministry of Ayush. You can see here, Y Break or Yoga Break. Y stands for Yoga. Yoga Break application launched by Ayush Ministry. And you have to remember, the mobile application has been developed by Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, which is situated in New Delhi. And a 5 minutes yoga protocol for the office goers, which includes, you can say, asanas, pranayam, and dhyan. All things will be provided on the basis of 5 minutes exercises for especially the office workers. And the main objective of this platform is to make yoga an integral part of people's life at workplace, and it will be helpful for all government and private employees to refresh, reduce stress, and refocus with enhanced immunity at their workplaces. So it is just a 5 minute video, you can say. You can watch this 5 minute video and you can do asan, pranayam or dhyan, and you will feel relaxed, refreshed, and you can reduce your stress and refocus with enhanced immunity at your workplace. So remember about Ministry of Ayush, I already told you, the Union Minister is Sarabnanda Sonowal, but he is not a member of parliament currently. He is not a member of parliament. He is not a member of Rajya Sabha. He is either not a member of Lok Sabha. So there is a condition, if you are appointing any person who is not member of Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha as a minister or the prime minister, then he have to become a member of either house within 6 months. So he have to become a member of 6 months, either of Rajya Sabha or a Lok Sabha. So let's see, he will become a member of Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. Now we are moving to next question. Which union territory has signed a pact with the Indian Air Force to establish the Air Force Heritage Center in the union territory? So this is the first time that a center is started or center is launched in this union territory, even all over India, and this union territory is Chandigarh. So answer of this question is D. So the Chandigarh administration has signed a pact with the Indian Air Force to establish the Air Force Heritage Center in the government press building of the Chandigarh. And Chandigarh and Indian Air Force agreed in the principle to set up Air Force Heritage Center. And you can also remember, it is the India's first Air Force Heritage Center, and it is established in Chandigarh. And Indian Air Force will showcase its vintage aircraft, armaments with video audio display and other Indian Air Force artifacts. And the Heritage Center will be an iconic place for attracting tourists from India as well as abroad. And it will be one of the most educative and the informative center for the people. And the center will also include a simulator wherein the public can experience the flying of the Indian Air Force aircraft. This is very unique thing. So they are providing a simulator so that you can experience or you can fly through the simulator a Indian aircraft and Indian Air Force aircraft. And this will act as a platform to motivate youth of our nation to join the Air Force and further reinforce national integration. So remember about Chandigarh, newly appointed administrator. Earlier it was VP Singh Badnoor, who was also the governor of Punjab, but now the governor of Punjab is Banwari Lal Purohit. Additional charge given to Banwari Lal Purohit. That's why the, you can say, governor or you can say the administrator of Chandigarh is Banwari Lal Purohit. So same person as a governor of Punjab, as a governor or administrator of Chandigarh. And remember about Indian Air Force, who is currently the Chief of Air Staff, Marshal RKS Bhadoria ji. Moving to next question. Which company received insurance broking license from the IRDA recently? Again, very important question, because this company now enter into the insurance brokerage, and this license is provided by Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. And answer of this question is very simple. Answer of this question is PhonePe. C is the answer. So you have to remember, PhonePe received in principle approval from the RBI to operate as the accountant aggregator. We will also cover this question, but firstly we are covering this question that this company is also received the insurance broking license. Now you have to remember, in 2020 PhonePe has entered into the insurance sector by receiving the limited insurance corporate agent license. This limited insurance corporate agent license means it restricted the company to partner only with the 3 insurance companies per category. Now as a, you can say, with this direct broking license, it will enable the PhonePe to distribute insurance product from all insurance companies, earlier only with the 3 in India, as its 300 million registered users. And you can also remember this line also, PhonePe received in principle approval from the RBI to operate as an account aggregator. So this account aggregator means approval from the Reserve Bank of India as a account aggregator to share financial information. To share financial information. The license will enable PhonePe to launch its AA platform. AA stands for Account Aggregator Platform, which will facilitate the free exchange of the financial information between the financial information users and the financial information providers on the account aggregator platform in a safe and secure manner. So two questions in one question, but the answer is same, that is PhonePe. And the exchange of data under this platform could be executed only with the due consent of their customers. And remember about PhonePe, headquarters is in Bengaluru, CEO is Sameer Nigam. Sameer Nigam. Again important. Moving to next question. Which company partnered with Triple IT Bengaluru and National Payment Corporation of India to provide advanced executive program in the cyber security, so that students can learn about the cyber security at the college level? And it is started with the Triple IT. Triple IT stands for International Institution of Information Technology, which is situated in Bengaluru, and National Payment Corporation of India. And answer of this company is Simply Learn. D is the answer. So Simply Learn is one of the world's leading certification training provider, has partnered with the International Institution of Information Technology Bengaluru and National Payment Corporation of India to provide an advanced executive program in the cyber security. So you can see here also cyber security, and it is a 6-month program, consists of a comprehensive curriculum co-created by Triple IT Bengaluru and the Simply Learn. And the program is designed to meet the skill requirement of the mid-level management professionals of the banking, cybersecurity, and the finance domains who have technical knowledge on the basis of the cybersecurity. And under this partnership, the learners will gain access to the virtual classes conducted by the expert and the master classes by the Triple IT Bengaluru faculties and experts of the National Payment Corporation of India. And the program focuses on industry relevant skills in the cyber security. And even the learners will receive a completion certificate from the Triple IT Bengaluru and also an internship completion letter jointly offered by the NPCI and this Triple IT Bengaluru. So they will get the certificate after the completion of the training. So in the training, they will get all the information about the cybersecurity from basic to the advanced level. And all the lectures will be provided by the experts and the master classes by the IIT and the Bengaluru faculty and the experts of the NPCI. So this is very good kind of thing, especially for the banking employees or the persons including in the cyber security and also the experts of the financial domain. So it is with the help of the Simply Learn. Moving to next question. Recently, nomadic festival in the region of the Changthang was celebrated in which state or union territory? So if you know where is this Changthang or the Changthang, you can answer very easily. Answer of this question is Ladakh. B is the answer. So Lieutenant Governor or the Lieutenant Governor Radhakrishan Mathurji inaugurated a 2-day Ladakh nomadic festival in the region of Changthang or Changthang at Korzok Phu. At Korzok, very famous monastery. Korzok Phu in Ladakh. And the event was organized by Ladakh Cultural Academy in association with the Department of Tourism, and its main aim to promote tourism in the Changthang region of the Ladakh. And he also admired very famous product of Ladakh. This is Pashmina. Basically, it is a wool, Pashmina, for which Changthang people are known around the world. And Lieutenant Governor or the Lieutenant Governor also visited Korzok Monastery. I earlier told you it is very famous monastery and geothermal project in the Puga Valley of Ladakh in Leh basically. And Ladakh Governor or you can say Lieutenant Governor is R.K. Mathur, and very famous festival is Hemis Festival. Also Hemis is the national park of the Ladakh. Moving to next question, you have to just remember this is a nomadic festival which was celebrated at Korzok Phu, a monastery in the Changthang or the Changthang region of the eastern Ladakh. Moving to next, President Ram Nath Kovind appointed the Chief Justice, acting Chief Justices of Telangana, Sikkim and the Karnataka High Courts, but you don't have to remember the name because it is a state specific question, but you can remember it comes under the Article 223. Article 223 under which President can appoint the Chief Justice of any High Court, and total High Courts in India are 25. And for the first time, 9 judges took the oath of office at one go in the Supreme Court of India. This is again very important. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana administered the oath of office for a new 9 judges on the 31st of August 2021 for the Supreme Court, because total 10 judges position was vacant. Now 9 judges are appointed by the Chief Justice of India. And this is the first time that 9 judges took oath for the office at one go in the Supreme Court of India. And Justice A.M. Khanwilkar appointed as the chairman of the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee. And you can remember the appointment of the 9 judges, including 3 women, takes the total strength of judges of the Supreme Court to 33, including Chief Justice of India. So total or the maximum strength of Supreme Court can be 34, including Chief Justice of India. And the Supreme Court Number of Judges Act 1956 fixes the maximum number of judges in the Supreme Court at 30 judges, excluding the Chief Justice of India, according to the 1956 Act of the Supreme Court Number of Judges. But the Supreme Court Number of Judges Act of 2019 increases this strength to 34, including Chief Justice of India. But it is excluding, it is including. So remember this. So now maximum to maximum strength can be 34, including Chief Justice of India. Earlier it was 31, including Chief Justice of India. Moving to next question, and it is our important question section, guys. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. And you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. Who has signed $50 million loan agreement with the Northern Arc Capital for women's financial inclusion in India? So very simple question, so that they can provide maximum to maximum loan to the women entrepreneurs or to that companies who are working for the women. And answer of this question is JICA, or you can say Japan International Corporation Agency. So you can see here Japan International Corporation Agency and signed a loan agreement with an Indian financial institution which is known as North or the Northern Arc Capital to support the funding of non-banking financial companies in India that provide financial services to women. And this loan is the first co-financing with the USDFC, because this loan will be provided through a co-financing with the United States International Development Finance Corporation. So this loan is the first co-financing with the USDFC. And around 40% of India's female population have no access to the financial services, especially the rural areas. And the agreement intends to overcome gender inequality in India by enabling Indian women with access to the financial services. And this tie-up will definitely provide financial services to the women, especially in the rural area, so that they can become the self-reliant women. So just remember JICA and Northern Arc Capital. Next question is, under India's presidency, United Nations Security Council adopts strong resolution on the Afghanistan, especially the Taliban-led Afghanistan, and Prime Minister Modi ji constitutes high-level group in view of evolving situation in the Afghanistan. So United Nations Security Council, who is a 15-member body, under which 5 are permanent members and 10 are non-permanent member, and India gets this chairmanship for the month of the August 2021. And in July it was with the France, and in September it goes to the you can say Ireland. It goes to Ireland. So remember, it is according to the alphabetical order. So in July it was with the France, in August it is with the India, after that it goes with the Ireland. So in September, like from today, Ireland is currently the chairman of this United Nations Security Council. Remember, and India is elected as a non-permanent member for the 2 years, like for 2021 and 2022. And the resolution, which was basically started by India, put forward by the United States of America, the United Kingdom and the France, and the permanent members of the UNSC, Russia and China abstained from the voting. Russia and China abstained from the voting, but it was put forward by United States of America, United Kingdom and the France. And the resolution demands not to use Afghan territory to threaten or attack any country, or to shelter or train terrorists, or to plan or to finance terrorist act. And remember, India was the chairman of the August 2021, because India is currently a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. And UNSC, which was established in 1945, and it is only United Nations body that can make legally binding decisions like imposing sanctions and authorizing the use of force. And headquarters is in the New York, United States of America. And next, this September month presidentship lies with Ireland. Remember, from today, the president is Ireland. Moving to next, it is our one-liner important point, and here is the first point, that is Kotak Mahindra Bank to sell 20 crore shares of Airtel Payment Bank to Bharti Enterprise for 294 crore. And remember, Kotak Mahindra just is selling 20 crore equity shares. It means almost 8.5% shares of Airtel Payment Bank Limited, which was owned by Kotak Mahindra, to Bharti Enterprise. For a cash consideration of around 294 crore. and the Bharti enterprise has received approval from the Reserve Bank of India to enable the execution of the proposed transaction, and the proposed transaction does not require any governmental or the regulatory approves. So you can remember about Kotak Mahindra Bank. This is important. Kotak Mahindra Finance Limited was established in 1985, but it became bank in 2003. And its MD and CEO is Uday Kotak. Again, very important. Headquarters is in Mumbai. Tagline is "Let's make money simple." But money is complex thing. Let's make money simple, they are saying. Next is Airtel Payment Bank is again important. This was Airtel Payment Bank was the first payment bank of India. It was established in 2016, but it came into force in 2017. And its MD and CEO is Anubrata Biswas. Anubrata Biswas. And the headquarters is in New Delhi. It was incorporated in 2010. Next, Infosys becomes the fourth Indian company to reach 100 billion USD market capitalization. Again, very important. So, Infosys became the fourth Indian company and the second IT company, second Indian software company, you can say, after TCS. After TCS crossed the 100 billion USD mark in terms of the market capitalization. Other three companies, if we are including all the categories, TCS is there, Reliance is there, HDFC Bank is there. And these are the other companies that have crossed the 100 billion mark in terms of the market capitalization. Next question is not important, you can skip this line, but we are covering all the questions. So Clicks Housing Finance, this is name of the company, partners with the IMCG, India Mortgage Guarantee Corporation. India Mortgage Guarantee Corporation for mortgage guarantee backed home loans. So it is to offer mortgage backed home loan products for salaried and the non-salaried customers in the affordable housing segment. And this company, IMCG, is playing the role of lender in the field of affordable housing. And mortgage guarantee backed home loan will be provided at low EMI and highly eligibility criteria with the minimal risk. And at present, this company has partnered with more than 18 lenders like Clicks Housing Finance, including banks, housing finance companies, NBFCs, etc., and granted home loans around 12,000 crores to more than 60,000 home loan borrowers. So this is very important company, and it can cover all the schemes like housing for all by the year of 2022. Definitely it will cover. Next, PayU acquired Buildex for 4.7 billion USD. 100% stake of Buildex is now acquired by PayU. So PayU Payment Private Limited has entered into agreement with the shareholders of IndiaIdeas.com. IndiaIdeas.com, which is also known as Buildesk, to acquire 100% of its equity shares at 34,000 crore. And the acquisition is subject to approval from the Competition Commission of India. But you have to remember about Buildesk. Buildesk co-founder, three persons are the co-founders like M.N. Srinivasu, Ajay Kaushal, Karthi Ganpati, but you don't have to remember. Its headquarters is in Mumbai and it was established in the year of 2000. But now PayU acquired this. IDBI Intech implements innovative anti-money laundering solution at LIC. Again, this is not important. IDBI Intech Limited, a technological-led business transformation organization, has implemented its anti-money laundering solution at Life Insurance Company, an Indian statutory insurance and investment corporation. So, what is the function of this anti-money laundering system? Anti-money laundering will provide an enterprise-wide single view of risk and compliance at the transactions and customers level, harnessing advanced analytics, workflow, and artificial intelligence with a set of pre-built rules and the scenario. So it can lower down the risk of the transactions of the LIC. So in simple word, you can remember this. LIC chairman is M.R. Kumar. It was established in 1956, headquarters in Mumbai. Next, children living as migrants or the refugees increased to 35.5 million in 2020. It is a UNICEF report. Again, it is very important because in 2020, in many countries, there was lockdown. And in accordance with the report, the name of the report is Uncertain Pathways, How a Gender Shapes the Experiences of Children on the Move by the United Nations Children Fund. And the number of persons living outside their birth country or the citizenship reached a record high of 281 million in 2020, representing 3.6% of the global population. So they are living outside their birth country or their birth citizenship. And this number is increased among boys and girls younger than 18 years to 5 million in 2020. So among them, 13 million were refugees and asylum seekers. So this is very important. So remember about UNICEF. UNICEF headquarters is in New York. Head is Henrietta Fore, and it was established in 1946. Moving to next question, it is the question of not the 1st September, it is the question of 31st of August 2021. The question of 31st of August 2021, the rulers of which dynasty started the practice of granting tax-free villages to the Brahmins and the Buddhist monks? So land grants formed an important feature of the Satvahana rural, you can say Satvahana dynasty. So answer of this question is A. So inscriptions show that Satavahanas started the practice of granting fiscal and administrative immunities to the Brahmins and the Buddhist monks. Earlier, the grants to individuals were temporary, but the later grants to religious beneficiaries were permanent. And perhaps the earliest epigraphic grant of land is found in the Nanaghat cave inscription. You have to remember this. Nanaghat cave inscription of which person? It is Naganika. And this inscription is situated in Maharashtra, who bestowed villages on the priest for officiating at Vedic sacrifices, but it does not speak any concession in the context. This appears first in the grant made by very famous ruler of Satvahana, which is Gautami Putra Satkarni. Gautami Putra Satkarni in the first quarter of the 2nd century AD. 2nd century AD. So the dynasty is Satvahana, who granted the tax-free villages to the Brahmins as well as the Buddhist monk, and the famous ruler is Gautami Putra Satkarni. Moving to the question of the day, it means the 1st of September 2021. Question is Yavanika or curtain was introduced in Indian theatre by which of the following? So you have to again tell me the dynasty and the famous ruler of this dynasty. So this Yavanika or curtain system was started in the Indian theatre by which dynasty or which of the following? So I am waiting your answer. You have to tell me answer only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. Please like this video, share this video and subscribe this channel. By providing these three things, you are motivating me, and press this bell button. The benefit is you will get the notification on time, and you can also join a Telegram group so that you can also receive the notification on time. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. We will meet on the 2nd of September 2021 video, but you have to remain happy, because happiness is the key of success. And don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Thank you guys. Take care and bye bye.